Hi everyone, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Hope all of you are doing good. So, my name is Arora, and I'm here to present today's topic, which is Zero Service Desk, how we're applying machine learning and automated workflows to achieve autonomous IT support. I'm a director for enterprise systems at ServiceNow. My role basically revolves around how better we can use our own products internally to achieve better operational efficiency, productivity, and basically be that customer zero so that we can be the first to try our own products, give feedback, and that really gives us an opportunity to have a better product which eventually gets to the market for all our customers. So let's talk about and what were the challenges for a traditional IT and why we thought of moving towards zero service desk, right? So the first one and the most important one is reactive workflows, right? We always wait for something to happen before we take action. As an example, right? Hey, some issue happened, this particular server is down, and let's take some action now because it's down. Is there a way I can identify it beforehand that something is going on so that even that server doesn't get down, the user gets help? And that what incorporated or that eventually evolved to incident volume increase as well. So if let's say if I have reactive, I'm waiting for people to ask for help, ask for questions, what they need help with, then the volume of tickets will eventually increase over time because every company is growing. We have more employees rather what we have 5 years back, right? So to serve the same number of employees or same number of people, then I have to think about maybe do I need to increase my support staff more because now I have more people to help day to day, and is the only job is to work on tickets, right? So that are some of the limitations. If we work on and ask people for help and doesn't provide a way to them to self-solve or self-help, then this becomes a pattern, and then okay, incident people growing, employees growing, incident volume growing. Now okay, we think maybe we need more people to support the wider audience, but that were some limitations, and that's how we thought okay, we need to scale. If the employee base for our company is increasing every year, doesn't mean that I have to have always hire more support guys as well. And that's where this idea originated, and that's where we started moving towards zero service desk. Now, I know for some of them you might have already heard it, but for some of them it might be new. What does zero service desk really means? For us, specifically at ServiceNow, it means how best we leverage our own platform ServiceNow and get help to the employees, which is my user base, right? Faster, more proactively, and within, like I would say, minutes or seconds rather than they waiting for hours to get help. It doesn't mean that we don't have a service desk or there's no concept of service desk, but it basically means rather than human agents be to that support, help, or provide help to the employees or my users, how I can best leverage AI, my own ServiceNow platform, own workflows, orchestration, integration between third parties, so that to provide help to our employees or a user base, I don't need any human agent in the loop. So that is the whole idea about, and it majorly focused on self-service. How much we can enable our employees to self-help themselves. That was the idea. Now, key machine learning features that were part of the overall old architecture or overall concept was the first one is the classification, right? We need to categorize, be able to efficiently help the employee, right? What kind of issue it is? Has it happened in the past? Is it something new of a case? If it has already happened in the past, can I apply same metrics and same data and just help the user? As an example, right? Someone few back, hey, someone asked for an HR policy which is related to holiday leave or maternity, and this is user was helped with. Can I apply the same rules and try to help the user in the same way? Then we don't need any human in the loop, right? The other is obviously the important is an intent detection. So if I'm coming for help, right, just based on how questions I type, I'm taking help of, let's say, virtual agent, right? What questions I'm typing, is it something information readily available? Can I help the user right now? The user is asking, hey, I need access to this particular role, or I need access to this particular environment. Can I provide that access right away? So all these, right, pillars are important. And last but not the least is the anomaly detection. This really helps us in being predictive, right? Being proactive. If hey, on my laptops, especially, right? I see for this particular user, I see his CPU spike is happening every day and maybe specific time duration. I think as a system of records, I should reach out to the end user and let them know, hey, something is wrong, something is unusual. Maybe it's time to do this or upgrade your system or restart your device. Anything it can be, right? That avoids the user to come to service desk or L1 agent to ask for help. Hey, my laptop is down, I don't know why. If we detect the issue beforehand, then we can reach out to the employee and the user and help them beforehand. So think about it, right? It's how much being proactive and how much being reactive. That's what has changed over time. We are not waiting for users to provide me access. Hey, somebody will come and give me access to this thing and then I'll start working or do my day-to-day job. No, it's not the case anymore, right? How the services that you're expecting your L1 or service desk to provide, how we can automate it, how we can better detect those issues, and how we can better help is what's the norm. And it's still evolution. I think that the evolution is the way, right? Agentic AI is already there. So how we incorporate agentic AI is definitely important to everyone in IT, whoever is in IT technology these days. Now, what our approach has been as an IT organization, and when we started thinking about zero service desk, how we started, what is our focus area, what we tried to do, that now we are calling ourselves as a zero service desk organization, right? And again, iterating. Zero service just really means how we are using our own platform ServiceNow to provide the help or support that users need from the support desk or from the L1 support, right? So if you see on the screen, there are 4 pillars: prevent, deflect, automate, augment. So let's talk through it one by one. The first one is the prevent, right? Everyone wants to be in the prevent phase for everything. Are we there in a prevent phase for everything? Maybe not. Some of the things we today cannot prevent. But we still are monitoring. We still have observability in place, right? We are monitoring how our laptops are performing, we are monitoring how our infrastructure, how our network devices, servers, right? How our applications are performing. There are different pillars of observability and monitoring, right? We always want to be there so that we don't have to maybe eventually do others. But yes, we still have to do others based on the use case, based on the environment criteria, what kind of help. Now let's more dive into deflect or automate. These two are the places where we definitely want to be, even if we are not in preventing it at any organization, right? So from an infra point or a hardware point or an application point, definitely observing and monitoring will help prevent the issues. Very sweet spot. We don't want incidents to be coming in, issues to be created. Okay, we identify, okay, I see there's something wrong with this laptop. It needs an upgrade of a Zoom client. Okay, let me reach out to the user, let them know we will do this at this particular time. If you're okay, yes. Good. Preventive, nothing happened. Now there are scenarios for deflect and automate, right? And let me explain that with an example because then it becomes more meaningful. So let's talk about deflect. Now, I talked about this or gave an example before, but I come to ServiceNow platform or the portal and I need help. And what the help I need is with, I need to know what is their HR policy for, let's say, maternity leave in US region or in California state, and I'm searching for it. It cannot be preventive, right? How you can prevent me from, you cannot read my mind when I'm going to search next. But yes, it's an opportunity of deflection because somewhere there's a knowledge article which will have this information. Any company will have a policy or a guidelines, what you all are eligible for. If I can automatically search that content and provide it to you handy, then I don't have to talk to anyone. I'm just checking policy. Do I need to talk to anyone to say, hey, or otherwise I'll reach to our support staff, hey, can you share this policy with me? I need to know the policy. And they'll attach the KB article to the ticket or incident I created and say, hey, this is what you were looking for, closed. He's not going to sit on a call and explain that to me. So similar to that, do I want even my users to create such tickets or incident? Maybe no. And that's a perfect example or a perfect case of deflection. How we can deflect something which doesn't necessarily need to be created as a ticket or an incident and provide faster help to the user. For example, another I would just say is somebody comes to a virtual agent or a search and say, hey, I need, or maybe my laptop is running slow, I need help. Can I have some automation in place which can already check the health of my machine and tell me, hey, we noticed that your machine is running up to date and all the patches are upgraded. nothing wrong. You might have observed a CPU spike or performance issues because it hasn't been restarted for almost a month. Can you please try restart and maybe it works? Okay, person restarts the machine, it's working. All good. Plus one, deflection. So these are some of the example of deflection. Hey, how we can best deflect the issues that people don't even create them. And then next come the automates. Just by sharing some information, troubleshooting on behalf of me, you cannot deflect me from creating an issue. But these are the categories which are more like requests. You can think about it, right? How AI can automate it, which agentic workers can be the part, workflow automations can do this. A simplest example would be anyone needs a software or access to something to perform their day-to-day jobs. Let's say I'm new to the company, right? I have to start working on ServiceNow platform. I don't have access and I have to request access. You cannot deflect. You cannot prevent. This is not a prevention case or this is not a deflection case. So I need access and I definitely need access to perform my day-to-day duties. So how you can automate it as an end-to-end workflow so that rather than waiting for somebody to give me access to the environment and then asking me multiple questions, which role you need, which access you need, it identifies my intent, which organization I'm part of, what is my role based on my profile. Okay, you need access to ServiceNow environment. Is this what you need? Based on your role, you're eligible for this. I'm going to grant this. Good. If in case, it depends, right? What kind of access it is. If it needs approval, you can always bring in approvals. But think about it as an end-to-end automation. Somebody is requesting access. This person is getting an access without any human agent involvement. That is a perfect example of automation. The next is augment. Let's say we cannot do any of these three. So what can we do? Augment. How we can do it? Let's say I'm not able to prevent, I'm not able to deflect, user needs help, I'm not able to automate because it's not one of the cases or repetitive tasks which we have automated yet. So then we augment. That means person still came, asked for assistance, asked for help, but couldn't self-solve it by any other ways. So he still goes ahead and creates a ticket. That is how much we say is how we can augment that user or the support agent who is working on that ticket by using AI, GenAI, any other features, machine learning, so that they can better and faster resolve the ticket. So the request or an issue that a user created, which took 30 minutes to be resolved or troubleshooted earlier, with all this AI in picture and all advancements, it just hardly takes 5 to 10 minutes now maximum. So that's like mean time to resolve reduction. You are almost all of you are familiar with this term, and that's what it can do. Maybe it cannot avoid an incident or an issue to be created at the first place, but it definitely will help to close it faster. So that's the overall idea about, obviously you want to prevent, deflect or automate, but at least if you are not able to do any of these, please try to augment. So you can at least increase operational efficiency and more productivity gains for your support staff. So when we talk about this, when we are talking about approach, I want to highlight one thing, right? Because many customers ask me this question. Hey, if you are saying you have achieved service desk and this has been your approach, are you saying that you don't even have a service desk people? Where do those people go? So those are leveraged for other tasks, right? They don't have to do this L1 support. Either they can be L2 one way, or they can be part of some another organization based on their interest in something, right? Or you provide a premium support to all your VIPs or your employees, because there will always be one of those scenarios which you cannot automate recollect. The best value or the biggest value that we have achieved with this is a flat support staff. So from last 5-6 years, the employee growth for ServiceNow has been like this. Like it's really growing at a fast pace. Now, am I hiring the same number of people or support staff so that I can have that scale, so that I have ample amount of support staff to support those employees or my user base? No. We used to have 20, 30 and the organization remained flat for so many years, and now we don't even have, right? So it is an evolution of time. And when we call ourselves zero service desk, I always say for every company it can be different. For our was, if I hit the target of 90% self-service, we'll call ourselves zero service desk. For other company, maybe bigger than us, smaller than us, different objectives, different leadership, right? They can have a different number in mind. Hey, When we achieve 85% self-service, maybe then we'll call our zero service desk. So it can be different, it can vary, but yes, the ultimate goal is to enable more self-service by AI, by automation, by orchestration, by bringing all these tools together, and how that we achieve it so that users can get help faster. That's the overall idea. How you can help your employee base, help your support staff to better evolve with evolution of technologies, with evolution of platforms, and evolution of our era, right? Like where we are today. So let's talk about now what all things we highly depended on or how we integrated to achieve this zero service desk. From an architectural standpoint, I think I briefly touched upon it, is like predictive analysis, right? Understanding the intent of the user, what user needs, whether it's just by helping them to get some knowledge to them, whether I need to have an automation inflow because that's what they are requesting. So understanding the intent becomes really important here. And one thing which I call about, if you see in the middle, it's ServiceNow platform, right? All our work happens in the platform. As a ServiceNow being a company, obviously, we use our platform very extensively. So the first thing we did was make sure, because there were different ways of how people will try to get help, right? Either they will call the service desk or they will try the virtual agent, right? I know you have all heard about it, and just start a conversation with the bot and try to get help. But if people start calling and they have multiple ways of communicating, then it becomes really challenging to achieve this goal. So the first step was how to consolidate everything and just to have one standardized way of how people will get help or how our user base will get help. That was important because that was not just a technology focus, but that was a human behavior change focused as well. How we change the behavior of people where they always come to virtual agent for help, right? They don't call the help desk or a human agent for help. That was the first driver that helped us achieve this. And ServiceNow platform, right? It has incident management, problem, and all those ITSM features. Plus it has workflows, right? Plus knowledge base. All that is maintained in ServiceNow platform. Plus an integration with other third party as well. Let's say SharePoint, or you can have automation workflows with any other software vendor if it is for software or anything. But the core of everything, I would still call it a ServiceNow platform. And that's why I call it, when we call zero service desk, that's where I say how we are using our own platform, providing that L1 support to the customer or the employee, rather than having a human agent. And by doing all this, what I'm getting is, obviously, being healthy environment, I can audit how everything is working, and I can achieve greater successes with having a platform, right? I don't have to invest in support staff more. So overall, the idea is how we can incorporate ServiceNow platform, machine learning, AI, and bring it all together so I get better results in terms of my performance, my health, and eventually get to that self-service model. Because that was the real crucial thing, is getting to that zero service desk, but definitely having governance in place to manage and monitor it. Now, I think a little bit touched upon it when I was describing the previous slide, but governance is important, right? Especially when you are using AI. Especially security is a big thing today, right? With AI in picture. So definitely we have to make sure we govern all our processes, we govern all our tools, all our policies, and especially the AI, right? So different types of governance, if you see on my screen, are listed there. Especially the first one, very important one, is the AI and decision governance. We have to have ethics and proper guardrails in place before even we start implementing any use cases for AI. Especially at least before even you take it to production. Some organizations I know do a small POC to test it, whether it's possible. Those are mostly internal resources, but definitely, right? If there are no guardrails in AI, it can harm any company, their reputation value in the biggest way. So definitely make sure you have proper security in place before you leverage an AI. Here at ServiceNow, we definitely go through ARB approvals. Our products are already certified, what have been launched in the market. But when we're implementing anything internally, we make sure we go through the data governance team and ARB, architecture review board, to make sure they approve whatever integration or outcomes we are looking for, and they sign off on, hey, we are going in the right direction. So that is really important here. Then obviously risk and compliance, right? Definitely every company should have a compliance and governance team, right? Everyone is spending so much or investing in security these days. Definitely We need to have a risk review, security review, just to make sure, especially the permissions, right? Even if, let's say, you have to integrate two systems, everyone uses service accounts or secrets to integrate. Now, how and what roles you provide to those secrets? Even like, what is just having a guardrail around what that integration or workflow is going to do, so that it doesn't disrupt whatever that system is supposed to do. If I'm just, as an example I give you, if this particular automation or integration is only supposed to, let's say, restart, let's say, Zoom client on my machine, it isn't supposed to do or look at my Outlook data or my actually meeting details of a Zoom, right? But just restart privileges, that's it, nothing else. Then we should verify, and some security review, compliance review should happen that yes, it is actually doing what it is intended to do and nothing more than that. So that piece is really crucial. And last but not least is governance from a performance standpoint, right? I was talking about zero service desk and I talked about self-service. So now specifically in that scenario, if I talk about self-service, how we measure ourselves. The important step here is, when we started this journey to zero service desk, we wanted to obviously monitor. We had a target, hey, we want to reach 90% self-service. How did I pick that 90% number? If I don't know how I am performing today, it's very difficult to measure in future as well. I need to know what are my performance indicators today. Like, as an example, I said, like you see on the screen, ticket deflection rate. Is there any deflection happening today, or it is zero? Maybe 10%, 5%, but something might be happening. Or if there is nothing, that's fine too. But I should know the way how I should measure it. I should need to have a proper formulas being reviewed, and then make sure how they are like leveraged across organization, how everyone understands it, how it is trending over time. So at least when I reach 90%, I should be able to say with confidence, yes, I'm 90%. Right? So we definitely have dashboards, reports, where every day we are monitoring these KPIs, because these gives us an ability to continuously improve and innovate as well. Because once I hit 90%, I'm not like done, okay, I'm sitting, I'm not doing anything. We have to evolve. And that numbers, that validation, that KPIs, if we track those KPIs, they'll help us to evolve. And if something goes wrong, they'll help us to get better. Now today, if I, let's say, achieve 90%, doesn't mean I might not go to 80%. It might happen, right, if something breaks. So if I don't govern my workflows, if I don't have performance indicators, and if I don't measure how is my self-service doing, then I won't be able to scale it. So that type of governance, your performance governance, is really crucial. And that's how we are doing it today. And hopefully you'll always need to do it. Metrics is really important. Measurable outcomes that we achieved as of out of service desk. First, and the more important, I really like it, is the incident reduction. And that's where I talked about scalability, right? If the employee base is growing, or the user base who needs support is growing, doesn't mean I hire more people to just support those employees, right? So that's where we have to think about scalability, which will eventually, if I self-heal, I'll self-automate, the ultimate value I'm achieving is I have incident reduction. So I don't need more people to work on tickets, because whatever I built, like especially the self-service model, it will help me scale. If I have built a model or an automation, say, anytime anyone ask for an access to Adobe, this is a workflow which should run, execute, and then people will not raise tickets. Now, even if I have 20,000, 30,000, 50,000 employees, it doesn't matter. That workflow or the automation, the predictive analysis, everything will work the same way, and maybe even better over time with more learning. So that's what the overall idea was. Now think about it. You have a reduced incident. You're not hiring more people as your organization is scaling. What does it bring? Cost savings. You don't need to invest more in people or organization just to support those employees, because they might be doing more important tasks just than providing them L1 support. Then overall, this helps us achieve the user satisfaction, because everything you do, and we also, when we did everything, we made sure the employee experience or our user's experience is not disrupted. And that actually improved over time, because they are now getting the faster help. They're not waiting in a queue for somebody to come and help them. It's a faster response time, better result. So definitely, not only just it helped us get that user satisfaction or experience, but even improved on it. And obviously, with the user satisfaction and everything, less downtime, greater productivity. That's without any doubt, right? If no incidents, you can use that people on more innovation task, and rather than just providing the L1 support, you are directly getting productivity gains. And overall, everything of this will helps any company's business grow. So last, let's briefly touch base upon it. What's the future of us, right? If we have already achieved this autonomous IT service desk, what is the future? I think more companies are, I would say, diving into this one. At ServiceNow, our focus is autonomous enterprise. And I think for many companies, it's the same. Specifically, what interests me and what I am the driver for is the autonomous IT. I know everyone is thinking like others. We are thinking autonomous service desk. We did it. Now we are thinking about complete autonomous IT, whether it's network space, infra space, everything that operations touch should be in some way or fashion autonomous, right? So that's the North Star, that's the future, and I hope we definitely reach it. People are investing, like especially in HR, finance, legal. Everyone is investing in autonomous space. So definitely, like others, we are also. And the second part is AIOps, right? We are doing it. We had to do it a little bit of predictive to get this zero service desk, but we have to be more predictive and less reactive. Reactive, obviously, I wouldn't say we are reactive at this stage, but we are still, some of the use cases, I would still say we are proactive, like we identify, but we have to be predictive, right? Which is more important, and that comes in observability area. So we are double downing on that and just making sure how we can be that predictive organization. And then obviously embed agentic flows into it, right? We are using machine learning, we are using AI, but now we have to double dive on how we can incorporate agentic workers, agentic workforce, or agentic framework, I would say, into all these workflows that we are trying to automate so that we can really reach that autonomous enterprise goal. And then obviously continuous improvement. That is the key. That will never go anywhere wherever we reach. Continuous improvement, next level should always be there. And same way, for me, for us, for a company, we're definitely investing again and double diving, and obviously always work on this continuous optimization and improvement. So I'm hoping this helped every one of you to understand what is Zero Service Desk, what we have achieved, where we are going. So thank you so much for your time and listening to me. Have a good day. Thank you.